Aloha folks, and welcome to today's video. Today I want to talk about something a little bit different. I want to talk about diabetes. This is something that runs in my family on the maternal side, and I know plenty of people who have it, and I know it's actually a growing issue, um, especially in the US. So let's get right into it. Diabetes, especially type 2. We're going to focus more on type 2, but this is beneficial for type 1 as well. Type 1, obviously, there's physical injury to the pancreas, and the pancreas is not able to produce insulin. However, type 2 is more about insulin resistance. The pancreas is producing insulin, but for whatever reason, it's not able to actually transport the sugars, the carbohydrates, into the cell. So, hence insulin resistance. So, what I noticed with a lot of my clients is that they're being recommended to eat high fat, high protein diets as a result of their diabetes. And I don't want to talk about proteins because the way that I see it is that protein is in absolutely everything. Protein makes up the cell walls of plants and the cell membranes of animals. And if you go down the food chain far enough, all animals are essentially eating plants. The plants are what's turning light into carbohydrates and sugars and fats. And then the animals eat them. We really only need 8 or 9 essential aminos. And then from there, our bodies can make all the proteins we need. So I personally think that if you can eat those 8 or 9 essential aminos, you're fine with protein and it's not going to affect your diabetes. Now, if you want to debate about that, you can reach out to me directly. I am available. So I want to focus on the other two macronutrients, fats and carbohydrates, because diabetes is all about blood sugar. And it's not about not having blood sugar. It's about not letting your blood sugar get too high. Well, why is it getting too high? Because, again, the cells are not absorbing it properly. So the question is, why aren't the cells absorbing it properly? Well, the answer is in the mechanics of fat. Now, I'm not going to get all scientific with you on this fat situation. I'm going to get you right into your kitchen so you can understand how fat really works. Okay? Fat, also known as oil, also known as grease. I really like that word, greasy. Yeah, let's get nice and greasy. I've been wrenching on my truck lately. Man, you know that like high temp red bearing grease? It looks like strawberry jam. Smells horrible though. Anyway, strawberry jam. So maybe you have one in your refrigerator. There could be a bottle of dressing, a dressing bottle of oil and vinegar. Now, before you shake that thing up, have a good look at it. The oil is there floating on top, and the vinegar is there on the bottom. Oil is not water soluble, while vinegar is. For the most part, that vinegar is mostly water, actually. And just like your blood, vinegar is mostly water. Your blood is mostly water. Why does your blood need to have such a high water content? Because oxygen dissolves in water. Oxygen does not dissolve in fat. Fat has this wonderful scientific term that I love so dearly, hydrophobic. Fat is hydrophobic. Fat is afraid of water. Okay, so what does that mean inside the human body? Well, since I'm talking about oxygen right now, and I'll get into the carbohydrate thing in a moment because they're very similar. If you have a layer of fat coating the inside of your lungs, oxygen will not be able to penetrate that layer of fat and go into your bloodstream. So for all you folks with a high fat content, there could be a high amount of fat in your blood, and it could be preventing you from breathing. Even if you're taking really big, deep breaths of air, the question is, how much oxygen is actually dissolving in your blood? And that is a big issue. And I'm going to be really blunt about it. It's a big issue with fat people. People who are severely, obviously fat, they're going to have a high fat content in their blood. There are definitely people who don't appear to be fat that have high fat content in their blood. I've met these people before and I've worked with them. If you're one of them, call me. But anyway, when you're looking at severely obese people, they know they have breathing problems and they think it's just their body's working so hard because there's all this extra weight. Yes. The other thing is that oxygen is not able to dissolve in their bloodstream as well as it could because there is literally fat blocking it. So the thing about carbohydrates, also known as sugar, sugar is water soluble. Sugar is not fat soluble. So the same thing is happening with your blood sugar when we're dealing with having a layer of fat. If you have a high fat diet and you have a high fat content in your body, in your organs, then there is a layer of grease that is preventing the sugar from going through and penetrating the cells. There is a layer of grease that is creating insulin resistance. That's the bottom line. And you can sense how difficult it is for things to penetrate layers of grease. If you want, you can take that strawberry jelly type grease that I was describing that I've been using to lube the wheel bearings in my truck. But you can even take some lard. Lard would be a great example. People have lard. How about some canola oil, Canada oil, canola oil, Canada oil, rape seed oil? There's a reason we call it Canada oil, canola oil. It's because rapeseed oil doesn't sound very nice. But take some of that rapeseed oil and rub it on your arm. Take some of that lard, rub it on your arm. Take some of that bacon fat. Take some of that high temp bearing grease from your truck and rub it on your arm. And see how your arm feels. How does your arm feel? It probably feels really gross. And I do think it's really gross. But part of the reason it feels the way that it feels, especially if you were to leave it on there for a long period of time, don't do it with the truck grease. That was a joke. Don't do it with the truck grease. It's really nasty. It smells horrible. Your skin can't breathe. Your skin can't breathe. So there's a lot happening inside the body. Not only can your body not breathe, your cells are having a hard time breathing, but your cells are having a hard time receiving the energy that they need in order to function. So be careful with that. There's a lot of research out there that is money fueled because money is currently today's equivalent to power, and power corrupts absolutely. There's a reason there are no ads on my channel. I'm open to donations. Just be careful with that grease. I don't know how true it is that fat gets converted into sugar long term. I'm not so certain about that. There is a reason why when you go to donate blood, they do not give you bacon at the end. There's a reason why they give you orange juice. There's a reason why they give you candy. And that's because your body runs on sugar. Now, between the orange juice and the candy, I would say pick the orange juice every single time because natural whole sugars are far superior than processed cane sugars. And I know there's a debate out there about, oh, it's juice. It's not whole. Get over it. Get over it. Chimpanzees juice things. There's a term called wadging. Chimpanzees will take edible but highly fibrous foods. I think what are those? Cattails. Cattails would be an example. Humans can do it with cattails. You take a chimpanzee and you observe them for a long enough period of time, and you'll notice what they do is they take super fibrous things and they will chew on them, and they will continue to chew on them and just suck the juices out, and then they'll spit it out. I absolutely love eating whole oranges. I absolutely love eating whole apples. I absolutely love eating whole celery. I absolutely love eating whole cucumbers. I'm just saying that there is a benefit to removing those fibers and having the juice. It's similar to a tea, but a little bit different because we're dealing with fruit and certain vegetables as opposed to herbs, which need a steeping. So I think I've covered what I want to talk about for today, and you're more than welcome to reach out to me if you'd like to have some private sessions. I'm available for you. Thank you.